Yesterday on Times Now Navbharat, we exposed how a whopping rupees 45 crore taxpayers' money was splurged on the renovation and beautification of Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's 6 Flagstaff Road bungalow. The Aam Aadmi today clearly is asking questions. They are angry. And why not? Absolutely justified in being angry and raising questions. They placed their trust and faith in the Aam Aadmi Party, but what did they get in return? Sirf aur sirf dhokha. Because all the claims today have turned out to be fake promises. All money spent on building a palace for a chief minister who promised it unconditionally that he would be honest and loyal to the Aam Aadmi. This expose, ladies and gentlemen, just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Tonight on the Newshour, we will show you how the Delhi Chief Minister betrayed the Aam Aadmi, and this was all carried out with an utter disregard to rules and regulations. A statutory body, the Delhi Urban Arts Commission, which was set up by an Act of Parliament, was first misled for 45 days on the nature and scope of work carried out inside the Chief Minister's bungalow. Its sanction was only sought after construction had already begun, and this is something that is noted in the minutes of the meeting of the DUAC. Not just this, even the costs were kept under a cut-off limit below rupees 10 crore because, according to the general financial rules, any amount spent by the PWD department or any department which was under the 10 crore value could be just okayed by departmental heads without even going to senior officials. No permission required of any senior official, so the entire bureaucracy had no idea what was going on. Let me now show you one by one how the Delhi Chief Minister's residence beautification flouted these rules for the ridiculous splurge on his mansion. The first document is a minutes of the meeting of the Delhi Urban Arts Commission from 6 November 2020. And as I said, and I quote, it is mentioned in the project details that the site work has already commenced. Construction can only commence after approval. The question then is, how did the work start at least 60 days before approval, because the first sanction of 7.92 crores came on the 1st of September 2020. Clearance being sought in November, when construction is already on at least 60 days in advance. In the same meeting, another observation was made that shows how the statutory body was misled. It says, as per the subject proposal is for additions and alterations, and that's what every document of sanction shows, additions and alterations. Nowhere does it show that it is a reconstruction, and the minutes note that. However, it's clearly evident that an entirely new building is proposed by demolishing the existing structure. This needs clarification. That's what the statutory body said. The third document that I have in my hand reveals that even in its second sitting, that is on the 11th of December 2020, the Commission had not given approval to the building plan proposal, and specific observations were given then to the Delhi government. The fourth document shows that it was only on 18th December 2020 when the DUAC gave its approval. The revised proposal was approved with observations. The question then is, why did Aam Aadmi Party approach the nodal body for sanction 50 days after the work had already begun? Post facto? Why? And now we show you how on the 1st of September 2020, that is 100 days before the DUAC approval, 8 crores or 7.91 crores were sanctioned by the state for additions and alterations in the additional accommodation in the Chief Minister's residence. It said construction cost of rupees 7 crore 91 lakhs 19,400 has been approved. How was the construction taking place? What about rules? Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the funds were sanctioned in at least 6 tranches for the construction of the Chief Minister's residence. What's interesting to note is that all costs were kept under 10 crores. The first sanction for 7.92 crore, the second for 1.64 crore, the third for 9.09 crore, all under 10 crore limit. This was cleverly done to escape the tender route, or so we understand, because that's what the GFR, the government financial rules, indicate, that below 10 crore, just sign by the chief engineer and move ahead. So was it to bypass the tender procedures, which is the known norm for government procurement? The Office Memorandum of Delhi Government's Finance Department of 2019 August says that rupees 10 crore, the power is vested with the HOD, the head of department, to sanction these expenses. Hence, the approval of secretaries was not even required. So the Aap Sarkar, in a very clever manner, managed to bypass the rules. No tender had to be floated, and the PWD secretaries were also kept completely out of the loop. Ladies and gentlemen, that really becomes the issue. Yesterday it was about propriety, today it is flouting the rules to benefit whom? This is the same Mr. Arvind Kejriwal who once slammed the then Chief Minister of Delhi, Sheila Dikshit, for allegedly having 10 air conditioners in her home. A classic case of pot calling the kettle black. Listen in to Arvind Kejriwal's charge, and that is the interview I did in Sheila Dikshit's house when she was Chief Minister. Not half as ostentatious as what these bills really show. What was Mr. Arvind Kejriwal talking about? Listen in.
शीला दीक्षित के घर की बिजली 10-10 एसी लगे हुए शीला दीक्षित के घर पे, उसकी बिजली का बिल कौन देता है? हम देते हैं उसकी बिजली का बिल, हम देते हैं शीला दीक्षित के घर के बिजली.
Meanwhile, even as the Aam Aadmi Party tried to justify the extravagance, the BJP has asked as to why did the Aam Aadmi Party hide it all from the Aam Aadmi. That's the question the BJP has raised. And that brings me, ladies and gentlemen, to the legitimate question we are asking on the Newshour tonight. Why was Aam Aadmi kept in the dark? Why was the entire system kept in the dark? What were they trying to do? It's a legitimate question that we are asking tonight. And joining me on the debate on the other side is that debate where we are asking this question. Joining me tonight, Nalin Kohli, national spokesperson of the BJP, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author, scientist, also a good South Indian cook, I presume, because he keeps questioning my cooking skills. Ashutosh, senior journalist. Huda Zariwala, political analyst, supports the Aam Aadmi Party. Dr. Suman C. Raman, political analyst. Dr. Sanjay Jha, suspended Congress leader, author, economist, what have you. I want to first ask my question of Huda Zariwala. Huda Zariwala, why was every single sanction below 10 crore rupees? Yesterday we only questioned the propriety. Today the question is, were you bypassing a certain decorum and rules that are there? I'm coming to you, Dr. Anand Ranganathan.
No, Navika, I would never ever do this. You know it. But I just want one question and statement to Zari, my good friend Huda Balaji. Can I please do it? Please. I would never ever do it. Please, I beg of you.
You know you because always have my indulgence.
No, thank you so much. I want to make a disclosure here before Zariji can begin. And the disclosure is, I promise to put 15 lakhs into the account of Zari Huda Balaji if she goes about her 2 minutes giving her explanation without resorting to either Modi, BJP or whataboutery. 15 lakhs directly into her account.
Huda Zariwala, you have an incentive to give a straight answer to the direct questions that are asked.
Well, that just goes on to show that, I am blessed with rich friends like Dr. Ranganathan himself. I am happy
Not
to
half
be
as
associated
rich as,
with such a person who is
the Aam Aadmi
ready
Party
to transfer
sarkar.
that amount of money in my account. Well, good evening, Navika ji. Good evening to all my fellow co-panelists and to all the viewers out there. Thank you so much for having me on your show. And it's an honest pleasure to be on your show, Navika ji, after quite some time, I assume. So as far as the question of, I believe you asked me about the tendering because I did have a little lapse in the network. So I would request you to kindly, quickly repeat the question.
10
I'm
crore.
sorry, there was a network lapse.
No sanction was above 10 crore. In fact, one was 9.9900, whatever, however many zeros there are in those many crores. That was the sanction. All sanctions below 10 crores. Were you flouting the norms?
Right, thank you so much for that question. No, obviously not. That was definitely not the intention. Let us not forget that all these approvals were done keeping all the bylaws of the MCD and absolutely all the permissions that were required while the approval for the renovations was being taken. And let us not forget the MCD approved it, which was under the BJP then. There was approval of the LG in all the renovations and absolutely every construction that was going on. So you question the timing of the renovations. Let us not forget the Central Vista, which was a 20,000 crore project happening during the time of the COVID pandemic, was also a very questionable thing. And as far as the tender is concerned, let us not forget when the Morbi bridge construction in Gujarat was being undertaken, the tender of 2 crore is what I understand was being given to a watch company by the name of Oreva. It was given a 15-year contract. So I'd like to see a time when, Times Now debates these scams done under the BJP regime by the PM Modi himself.
Huda Zariwala, you've just lost 15 lakh rupees because Narendra Modi has come into the conversation. आपको कोई पैसा एक नया पैसा नहीं मिलेगा. But I want to catch your lie. I want to catch your lie right here on the show, on the Newshour tonight, and I'm just sending this document to my director because I've just got this document, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to break this document. Sharif, the document is there. If you can put it on the screen, I can just show it to the people of India. And this document says, all day long there has been this defense that the MCD cleared this. Here in my hand, I hold this document of 2017. 18th of May 2017, North Delhi Municipal Corporation, Office of the Chief Engineer. And this says, Corporation has decided that PWD projects to be used for public purpose are exempt from seeking any sanction for building plan from the local bodies as per provision of section so and so. They are further, however, they shall give reasonable notice to the local bodies, that is the concerned zonal building, as per provision. So they do not need sanction, they only need to give notice. There is no sanction from MCD, and this is the office order which says that, and this is dated 2017. So your lies are caught out on live television tonight because somebody has just sent me this document. And Nalin Kohli, their defense, their last straw of defense has fallen flat. Huda Zariwala, yes, what do you want to say? That you lied on national television? That MCD gave its clearance?
Navika ji, can I respond? Can I respond just in 20 seconds, if I may be allowed?
Yes, please.
Just 20 seconds.
Yes. What's your defense?
There are also scams which says that 191 CR for the private jet of Vijay Rupani.
Not related to the document. I will bypass that question because this question is a separate question. Be my guest. We'll debate it on another day. But let me get in Nalin Kohli. Nalin Kohli, all along since yesterday, Huda Zariwala, I'm going to put your fader down. You can't lie on national television and you can't go off the subject. Nalin Kohli, my question to you is, this document really takes away and takes the wind out of the sails of the defense that the Aam Aadmi Party was putting, that there was an MCD clearance. Na DUAC clearance tha, na MCD ka koi clearance tha, because in 2017 MCD had said PWD for all government bungalows can go about construction without submitting plans. So where is the defense today?
There is no defense, but for a moment, Navika ji, let's step back. First, houses will get renovated. They will be by different governments, different political parties. That is not an issue. That's one part of the issue. But the other part is, which is that there is no other political person in the entire landscape of India, perhaps the whole world, but certainly in India, who lies so blatantly as Arvind Kejriwal. And you have to only pick up Mr. Arvind Kejriwal's every statement from the day he joined something called India Against Corruption movement under Anna Hazare till date. Each time we only have to play what he said then and what he says now or does now. That's it. They are polar opposites. They are not even variations. They are polar opposites. हम इतने कैमरा लगाएंगे दिल्ली में, कैमरा के बारे में मैंने कब कहा? This is what circulates on the social media. हम इतने बसेस इतने जल्दी लाएंगे, उसके बाद क्या हुआ? हम ला रहे हैं. हम कभी लाल बत्ती की गाड़ी नहीं करेंगे. सुन लीजिए दिल्ली वाले, लाल बत्ती की गाड़ी में घूमेंगे. मैं कभी सरकारी बंगले में नहीं जाएंगे, पूरी व्यवस्था बदलनी है, हम सरकारी बंगले में जाएंगे, 45 करोड़ भी खर्च करेंगे. This is Arvind Kejriwal. He takes the cake because whatever he says, he does the polar opposite. Now, either he's a pathological liar, and it's as simple as that, because these are two polar opposites of what he promises in the whole world and what he does exactly after that, or he doesn't care, that he believes that I can say anything, it's not a lie, which is another way of looking at it. Whatever I say today is what I want to say today. It doesn't have any relation to what I've said in the past. I don't know which of the two it is, but I think that if this is perhaps a good time for Anna Hazare ji to actually start a movement against what he has created, which is Arvind Kejriwal and all the people who came in this so-called India Against Corruption. Because if this is not corruption of ideology, nothing else would ever be.
Well, Anand Ranganathan, the question is, and if I begin to talk about details that have really angered the Aam Aadmi, details of, there are 15 toilets. Oh my God, 15 toilets in that house. I don't have, everybody's house has toilets, but 15 of them? 4 कमरों के घर में रहना चाहते थे आप, 15 टॉयलेट की जरूरत पड़ गई. और 15 टॉयलेट में, may I tell you, vanities in each toilet 1 lakh rupees, so 15 lakh rupees on that, and sanitary fittings another 11 lakh rupees, 25 lakh rupees on toilets. I mean, that's one part. Flooring, wooden flooring, about a couple of crores. There are marble, about 5 crores. There are wooden paneling, about 5 crores. बेदर्दी से पैसा इस्तेमाल हुआ है, number one. Number two, flouting the 10 crore norm, because every payment, every sanction is below 10 crores, one even 9.99. What does that show you? And number three, MCD gave permission and we have done everything. Neither the DUAC nor the MCD, no permissions were there, at least when the construction began. So Anand Ranganathan, how many lies in a row?
Navika, I think making 15 toilets was justified by Arvind Kejriwal because he's hiding in one of them as we speak. He is the guy who comes up without any excuse and does 12 p.m. or 12 noon or 5 p.m. afternoon press conferences, and he is a vole. He is absent. Where is he? But can I please take mention 3 or 4 points, because I want to deal only with facts. So fact number one, my good friend Huda Zariwala ji has been exposed because I offered 15 lakhs to be transferred into her bank account. Huda Zariwala ji, my apologies. At least I didn't say Huda Kejriwal. But the point is, she resorted to whataboutery. Number two, Navika, you outed one of her lies. Let me out another one of her lies. This is the non-stop coverage of Times Now of the Morbi bridge disaster. When she's saying it would have been nice, Navika ji, had you mentioned the Morbi bridge. Times Now ran the Morbi tragedy for 2 days, asking for the resignation of the Chief Minister. This is India upfront as well as News Hour You, Navika. So line number 2. And can I also please now, enough of...
What about the 191 CR private jet of the Gujarat CM?
Please don't interrupt. I didn't interrupt you. Please, thank you. Navika, I want to congratulate 2 people on this panel. One is my good friend Ashutosh, who left AAP when he could. So maybe you have to ask him what was it that he found the truth about Kejriwal that he actually left AAP. Number 2, I want to congratulate you, Navika, because I'll tell you why. You can say goodbye to all the Aam Aadmi Party and Kejriwal advertisements that will come your way. Goodbye. In the last 10 years, the AAP advertising expenditure has been raised by 4,900%. Last year alone, AAP spent close to 500 crores in giving ads. This is how they muffle. You know, using muffler, Mr. Mufflerman muffles the voice of the media by giving them money. This is a kind of a blackmail that they do. So, congratulations to you that you have not been deterred by this kind of horrendous political blackmail and you've come out with this expose. But you know what is shocking? And here, I know there was so much of expose for you to do that you forgot the perhaps the most tragic part in all this. Shall I tell you what is most tragic? It is not that Kejriwal is corrupt. That is not news to me or anyone. It is not that Kejriwal is a politician who spent so much money on his Alishan Bangla. That is also not news. What is real tragic is that when people were dying for want of oxygen cylinders, when people were dying because doctors could not be there to help them during the peak COVID, he was saying that he doesn't have money to take care of, to feed slum dwellers in COVID. And he was spending 45 crores in making 15 toilets and God knows how many bedrooms. This is the reason why he must come out and explain this.
Would you also mention the BJP campaigning that was going on during COVID?
Now again we
20,000 crore in the Vista project, Central Vista project.
Huda Zariwala, you know, when I always give time to people who have substantive points to make. You're not answering any questions. You're only raising questions about things that are over behind us. We are raising questions about what was going on and the hypocrisy of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. Slightly more serious than the questions that you are raising. Anand, complete your point.
But it was all approved.
Yes,
Huda Zariwala, I'm lowering your fader, please. You can't speak over everybody. You've had your turn. Wait for your next turn.
Thank you. Now, I just wanted to end with, you know, because I did a few calculations. 900 oxygen cylinders could have been purchased just by the money that Kejriwal spent, not on the whole refurbishing, just by building those toilets. 900 oxygen cylinders. He's running around saying there are no oxygen cylinders. 23 mohalla clinics could have been opened. So many tens of thousands of people could have been fed square meals during the peak of Delta wave and before that and after that. I want answers from my Chief Minister. And I say my Chief Minister because I'm a Delhiite. Yes, he is my Chief Minister. Where is he? He is the one who said, I am not like Modi, a coward who doesn't do press conferences. He does one press conference a day. I want him to come out now and explain this.
Forget a conference a day. You know, Anand Ranganathan, I want to inform you that our reporters were not even allowed to enter the press conference that was held this morning by Mr. Sanjay Singh. They were barred from entering. We have been banned as a channel. I thought you congratulated me, you know, for the expose, for the documents that we've managed to pull out. You don't have to, you know, thank me for not getting ads because that clearly is not my editorial function. That is the management that takes care of it, and I just hope they make good with the losses that they may suffer. That's not been a journalist's issue ever.
I applaud you for that, Navika. Because let me also tell you that one Hindustan Times journalist 2 years ago wrote 5 things that AAP is doing wrong, and she was immediately removed from a WhatsApp group by Kejriwal. This is how they operate.
Well, we've been banned also, and my reporters, 3 of them, have been camping outside Mr. Kejriwal's residence for the last 27.5 hours, waiting for Mr. Kejriwal to either say that our story is wrong, our documents are wrong, or to call them inside and give them a tour and say कि कहाँ है 8 लाख का पर्दा, कहाँ है 15 टॉयलेट, कहाँ है 20 लाख का कारपेट, मेरे घर में तो नहीं है, कहाँ है मार्बल, डियोर, पर्ल, व्हाइट मार्बल, कुछ नहीं है मेरे पास. And that is the big explosive news break that we are going to get you in just 30 seconds, because we've managed to track down the marble wala, the Dior pearl white marble wala who has supplied that shiny white marble, imported marble from Vietnam. What does he say? Sharif, can we just put out that interview? My reporters just messaged me that he's managed to track down the marble man. What does the marble man have to say? Let's just put that in front of our viewers tonight.
सुनीता केजरीवाल जी आई थी और उनके साथ में शायद कोई कॉन्ट्रैक्टर भी थे, तो उन्होंने आके पहले पसंद किया मंदिर और उसमें कुछ उन्होंने एडिशन ऑल्ट्रेशन का बताया और उनकी जो रिक्वायरमेंट थी उसके हिसाब से मंदिर बनाया गया था और भेजा गया था.
तो ये कब की बात है सर?
ये करीब साल सवा साल पहले की बात है.
साल सवा साल पहले की बात है. तो वो मंदिर क्या इसी तरीके का था वो?
हाँ जी, तकरीबन इसी टाइप का था और वो उनके साइज के अकॉर्डिंग ही बनाया गया था और जैसा जैसा उन्होंने बताया था कि कितनी हाइट चाहिए और वो सब उसी हिसाब से बनाया गया था.
अच्छा, तो सर ये जो मंदिर जो है, ये मंदिर कैसी, क्या कीमत है इसकी? जो मतलब वो किस कीमत पे वो मंदिर ले गए थे?
कीमत तकरीबन अभी वैसे एग्जैक्ट तो याद नहीं आ रहा मुझे, बाकी ये जैसे पर्टिकुलर ये मंदिर है करीब 1 लाख के आसपास का है.
ऑन साइट आप भी गए थे वहां पे देखने के लिए?
हम 2 बार ही गए हैं वहां पे.
तो वहां पे सर जब आप पहुंचे तो किस तरह का वो दिख रहा था वहां पे, क्योंकि तो आप तो लास्ट समय ही गए होंगे जब वहां पे वो चीजें जब फिनिशिंग के मोड में थी, तो क्या कुछ चीजें आपको वहां पे दिखी थी?
नहीं, हमने तो देखा तो वहां पे ऐसा लग रहा था जैसे जमीन से ही सारा काम शुरू हुआ है और काफी लार्ज स्केल पे काम हो रहा था और सारा स्ट्रक्चर भी, मार्बल का काम भी, वुड वर्क भी, एल्यूमिनियम का काम भी, सारे ही काम चल रहे थे उस टाइम. तो फिनिशिंग का काम चल रहा था.
लग रहा था कि किसी भव्य काम की तैयारी चल रही है.
हाँ जी.
वो भव्यता महसूस हो रही थी आपको?
हाँ जी, बिल्कुल साहब.
तो क्या सर मन में कहीं ये ख्याल आया कि आम आदमी की बात करने वाले एक सीएम के घर पे इतनी खास तरह की चीजें कैसे हो रही है?
हाँ, कुछ ऐसा लगता तो था, लेकिन फिर ये था कि भी मतलब जैसे प्रधानमंत्री निवास होता है वैसे ही राजनिवास है, ये भी तो राजनिवास के हिसाब से काम हो रहा है और ये भी एक इम्पोर्टेंट बिल्डिंग है, उसी हिसाब से काम हो रहा था.
तो सर अगर हमारे दर्शकों को अगर आप आंकड़ों के अनुसार बताना चाहें तो अंदाजन कितने पैसे लगे होंगे आपके यहाँ से जो उन्होंने शॉपिंग करी है, चाहे वो मंदिर की हो चाहे फिर वो मार्बल्स की जाली की हो? अंदाजन
हमारे यहाँ से तो टोटल 8 से 10 लाख रुपए के आसपास का अंदाजा मेरे को लगता है.
8 से 10 रुपए का उन्होंने आपके
आइडिया लगता है, बाकी एग्जैक्ट मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा अभी.
मार्बल जाली, ये मार्बल फ्लोरिंग नहीं है, मार्बल की डेकोरेटिव जालीज 8 से 10 लाख रुपए की भव्य इमारत हो रही थी. डॉक्टर सुमन सी रामन, हाउ वुड यू रिस्पॉन्ड?
Okay, Navika, I just want to, before I start, does that 15 lakh offer, is it valid for me as well?
I don't
Maybe
think
Dr.
so.
Ranganathan can
No
clarify.
special privileges. It was only for the lady on the show, apart from me. That was Huda Zariwala. Yeah.
You are a billionaire.
Okay.
And please,
Anyway,
no
now
open offer of
reply to
bribes.
these.
No open offer of bribes and gratification on national television. I cannot allow that.
Okay, Navika, now let me come to the answer. Now, a few facts have to be put before the people. One, this is not just Kejriwal's house, this is the official residence of the Chief Minister of Delhi. So it's not registered in Arvind Kejriwal's name, it's registered in the government of Delhi's name. It's not an individual's house. One, whoever becomes the Chief Minister next will occupy that bungalow. Two, it is not only a house, one part of it is a house and the other part is a camp office. So there is a camp office of the Chief Minister, out of which out of this 44 crore, 30 crore was spent on the house and 14 crore odd was spent on the camp office.
That's the oral number given by Sanjay Singh. That's not a fact. That's not a fact. The documents say 8 point. I'll tell you. I know the hisab kitab penny wise. 8.11 crore on the camp office within the premises of the house. 8.11 crore for the site office, the rest 37 crore on the bungalow itself, including pardas, which costed 1 crore rupees.
One second.
Curtains of 1 crore rupees, my friend.
1 second. Can I finish?
No, you can't. If you say wrong facts, I will not allow you to complete wrong facts.
I'm not justifying it. 1 minute. No, these are not. 1 minute. Let me, your question was, sanctions were given in installments. The original idea was not to have such a large construction. Additional area was added at a later stage. I think sometime in September or something of 2021, there was an additional sanction which was made because the area increased in size. The area to be constructed increased in size. So all of this has very logical explanations. Should they have spent 44 crores? I don't agree. But that's not the point. The point is, this is not Arvind Kejriwal's house. This is the house, official residence of the Chief Minister of Delhi. Second, it was not renovated, it was rebuilt. And very importantly, Navika, can we have a similar debate on why 15 crore was apparently spent on the renovation of the LG's bungalow?
Apparently, I cannot have a debate. When I get the documents, or if you get them before me, we will have that debate. We will have that debate, absolutely open to that. Yeah. But it can't be a debate on apparently 15 lakhs. 15 crores. So Ashutosh ji, no, you've had your point. You've had your time, Ashutosh ji. Now, Sumant C. Raman says this is the official residence of the Chief Minister of Delhi. It's not Arvind Kejriwal's personal residence, and somebody else who becomes the Chief Minister will come later and live in it. Number one. Number two, it also includes a camp office. So what if it is within the... Bhai, secretariat bhi bana hua hai, wahan bhi ja sakte hain. Lekin, we've camped there for very long, and no Aam Aadmi is being allowed to go in or come out. So why is there spaces for public? I don't know. And of course the other kharcha. And then he is talking about sanctions. It was... there is no sanction. Even the DUAC says you've come for a sanction after the construction has already begun. Many questions, and of course nobody is answering the question of the 10 crore se kam. Why was there need to keep every sanction below 10 crores? Doesn't it raise eyebrows? Ashutosh, your word.
I don't care whether this was not for Mr. Arvind Kejriwal's personal property. I don't care whether this is a Chief Minister Bangalore or not. What I care is that what Arvind Kejriwal has said in 2011, when Anna movement was happening, when he challenged the entire political establishment, when he blamed everybody for indulging into corruption, and there are numerous clips where he's openly saying that I don't need more than 3-4 room flat or a house. I'm a Aam Aadmi, so I don't need them. And then he questioned why these ministers, the chief ministers, are living in palatial bungalows. Why they need a red lal batti unko kyun chahiye? So for me, it is not important how much Mr. Modi is spending, how much Shivraj Singh Chauhan is spending, how much Sheila Dikshit is spending. That's not of my concern. My concern is you set the benchmark. You said that you are Aam Aadmi Chief Minister. You said and you challenged or revolted against these kind of privileges and luxuries. If you had not revolted against these kind of privileges and luxuries, I would not have evaluated you on this course. So I do not agree with Sumant C. Raman that today the Arvind Kejriwal of 2011 is asking questions. The Arvind Kejriwal 2023, how dare you indulge into these kind of luxuries? Whose money is this? Is it not a taxpayer's money? Is it not because of such thing that you challenge, abuse, criticize, ridiculed, contempt, intimidated every political leader in the country? Now, when you are indulging into the same thing, why you should not be asked and why you should not answer that what made you that you have changed so much from 2011 and you are a different person in 2023. So I don't care whether Mr. Modi is spending 15 crore or 1500 crore. I'm concerned that the same person who in 2014, when he was looking for a house, then a duplex was suggested to him that this should be your place of residence. And he almost finalized. When he finalized, a few volunteers and the senior leader of the Aam Aadmi Party, they objected to that. And it is a matter of record. 4th January 2014, look at Times of India and Indian Express. You will see Arvind Kejriwal's statement where he's saying, since my volunteers have objected, so I will move to a smaller place. And then he moved to a 3-room flat in Tilak Lane behind Patiala House. I'm looking for that Arvind Kejriwal. I'm not looking for this man who's living into the palatial. I don't recognize him.
And Ashutosh is somebody who worked with him. Suman Siraman.
I applaud you, Ashutosh.
Yeah, and Ashutosh is emotionally expressing this. Even Prashant Bhushan,
Navika,
read his tweet today.
things.
He doesn't even want to come. And forget about the man called, Dr. Sanjay Jha hasn't spoken. I'll come back to you, Suman Siraman. But Dr. Sanjay Jha first. Dr. Sanjay Jha.
Yeah, no, I just want to make one point. I am not defending the spending of so much money at all. I am not defending Kejriwal on this. Should he, I made that point right at the beginning. I said, should he have spent 45 crore? No. But we have to state the fact that this is the official residence of the Chief Minister of Delhi.
But pehle to ye official residence nahi chahiye tha. In the first term, he didn't want this official residence. What has changed? Has he become a high-profile, high-society Chief Minister now? That's the question.
Navika, the one point. It is not a miracle that a man who had no political legacy, just listen to me, no political legacy, he forms a political party and within a year's time he becomes the Chief Minister and he gets 67 seats in 2015 out of 70. Why the people had shown so much trust and faith in him? The people had shown trust and faith in him because he was not like a politician. Because he was giving sermons to everybody that the politicians should live a simple life. They don't need a bungalow and palatial bungalows. When you are indulging into this, then you are betraying the basic trust of the people who reposed in you. Now they feel betrayed. It's a death of a dream.
Absolutely, it's death of a dream. And do these documents and there's this Operation Sheesh Mahal actually show you a death of a dream, Dr. Sanjay Jha? I'm lowering all faders, Dr. Sanjay Jha.
Navika, I remember representing the Congress at a time when we had maximum hostility from Arvind Kejriwal and Anna Hazare. And I thought they were extremely sanctimonious, very self-righteous, and as we all know, doing a lot of scoot and then, shoot politics. My simple, humble opinion here is that if you are a public servant, you're an elected politician, you're anybody in public life, then frugality needs to take precedence over flamboyance. You have to be more simple as opposed to being swank. And I do believe, I agree with Ashutosh and I agree with even Sumant, that while he may be entitled as a chief minister to live in a bungalow of a certain standard, at the end of the day, it damages not just his, but Aam Aadmi Party's credibility. I don't think this is a point that can be disputed. My simple answer, though, is because I've been hearing a lot from the BJP, and therefore I need to pose this counter question, that there are questions going to be asked by everybody in India. Why is India's political party so corrupted that we are at our best when we are pointing fingers at the others, but we tend to be very dubious when we are asked questions? I'll give you one thing. I have not been to the BJP office. Nalin happens to be somebody I respect a lot. He's a very dear friend. But I do want to ask this question of Nalin, and he's on your program, and I hope he'll answer that. I've heard, Nalin, that your office in Delhi, the BJP office, is phenomenal. And the expenditure on that ranges from what I read, 800 crores to 1,000 crores plus. The question that anybody, I'm asking you as an ordinary citizen of India, within 4 or 5 years of being in power, how did the BJP make such a phenomenal office, apparently very swanky and modern? Good luck to you. But where did that money come from? Who funds you in electoral bonds?
And you don't want to ask that question of Arvind Kejriwal, documents which have just come out, but you want to raise that question from the BJP about a building that has been discussed to death. But Nalin Kohli, be my guest, respond to Dr. Sanjay Jha, because, anti-BJPism is the only thing that drives him.
No, I agree, Navika, that any ostentatious, pretentious expenditure done by...
No, what about the hypocrisy? What about the promises that Ashutosh says? From 2011, you kept telling people that hum simple hai, hum politician jaise nahi hai. Today, he becomes a politician par excellence, that he spends 45 crore on renovation. That question escapes you, and only a question of the BJP's propriety raises. You're not even, yesterday it was about propriety. Today I'm raising questions also about flouting of norms. Maybe some corruption in the middle of all of that, because no tenders were done, and money is given 1 crore for consultancy. You don't have questions on that, but you have questions on the BJP. So Nalin Kohli, please answer questions of the BJP.
So I have three things to say, Navika ji. First, there is no designated chief minister's bungalow. This is a house which is being made comfortable for the chief minister of Delhi, for which 45 crores is being spent to make him comfortable, and additionally to the 45 crores is a swimming pool of about 9 crores, so that he doesn't need to swim in the Yamuna, which he is promising to clean for so long, and has a private pool. So let's get the facts clear. There is no designated bungalow. Madan Lal Khurana ji, Sahib Singh ji, Sheila Dikshit ji all lived in different bungalows, just as ministers live in different. And that's why I said renovations happen, you will have improvements, but this one really takes the cake. Number two is on what Sanjay Jha, my good friend, says. Look, I am not involved in the construction, but let me take it on head on. I don't know the figures, but I do understand construction. So I'll tell you, first of all, 800 crores is a figure that was spent on the Commonwealth scam on the Jawaharlal Nehru redevelopment. So I just want you to get a scale of how much 800 crores does, which was considered a scam. To assuming, which I don't even know what the figures are, assuming the BJP office is some 50, 60, 70,000 square feet, even if it were at 4,000 or 5,000 rupees a square foot, which any construction person would tell you, because I'm sure the Congress has had a long history with builders and all the scams that took place in between, they would know that this figure is going to be 1/20th of what you are saying. So I'm just simply saying, Mr. Jha, don't come with these figures. These are the Rahul Gandhi's approach. One minute, let me make it head on. This is Rahul Gandhi's approach, which is you pick up a figure and suddenly say 20,000 crore, 10,000 crore, 5,000 crore, because this is what the Congress ecosystem has been used to. You can't think of a scam of 2, 3, 4, 5 crores, because that's not a scale at which the Congress ever worked. So just to tell you again, there's no question. And last, which is the most important, so you say I don't run away from it. I have been Prabhari of 4 states, and I can tell you, Mr. Jha, I didn't interrupt you. Mr. Jha, let's now respect each other. I didn't interrupt you, Mr. Jha. I am giving a straight answer from the BJP's perspective. I say this from personal experience. I've just done the Nagaland elections, and I've sat with every chartered accountant who comes, who demands every rupees thing, because they say this has to go into the accounts of the Election Commission. So if we are so particular about it, as the biggest political party, I'll bet you that everything on the construction also is equally going to be put out there. Just because you don't know, don't make an allegation.
Well, why don't you become transparent about it?
Well, I want to get on to a question, and which is a serious question in all of this. And Huda Zariwala, the question is very simple. And, Anand Ranganathan started with this. PM is spending, but you have condemned the Prime Minister. You have said you are not like him. You are different. You talk about the, Rupani's plane for 1.91 or whatever many crores. You have said that you are nothing like the BJP. You are simple people. You are people who are not going to fit into the frills and fancies of regular politics. And you will give governance which is of the Mohalla clinic type, which is of the school education type. That is the breath of fresh air that you promised the people of Delhi, and that has been the statement you've taken to the rest of India in all the elections that Mr. Arvind Kejriwal has taken part in. My question to you is, why today are you then comparing yourself with the BJP? Why are you comparing yourself with Sheila Dikshit? अरे भाई शीला दीक्षित 10 एसी बाथरूम में लगाती थी. That was Arvind Kejriwal's statement. Her house is way more modest, and I've been there. I don't need anybody's certificate for that. I've seen it on my own. She had a more modest house than the bills of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal's. I want to ask you, if all this is wrong and if our impression is wrong, why doesn't he open the door and allow our cameras to go in? Why not? Why is he banning us? Why is he not answering us? That's the question.
Well, Navika ji, I'd like to start answering by first answering the question from Dr. Ranganathan. The statement that he put out there, that if I'm going to put out a statement without, mentioning BJP or Prime Minister Modi in my statement, and then he's going to transfer that certain amount, I'm glad did not happen, because then there might well be a CBI ED raid on me, which will become the status quo for the BJP. So I'm glad I do not have access to that kind of money. And secondly,
Arvind Kejriwal जी के PWD डिपार्टमेंट से मांग लीजिए, उनके पास 45 करोड़ है.
मैम काश मेरे पास उस तरह का एक्सेस हो, उस तरह की ये सौगात होती. I mean, I'm sure I would be doing much better in life. But yes, I believe in austerity. Coming back to your question, Navika ji, like my esteemed co-panelist just mentioned, this is a bungalow not for his personal use. I mean, unless and until Times Now has actually, understood, and I mean, they are kind of accepting that Arvind Kejriwal ji will be the CM for all times to come in Delhi. I mean, if that is the case, then bravo. I mean, at least that is one thing, Times Now is probably given, rest assured of.
If that's the best defense, then Anand Ranganathan, my question to you is, if that is the best defense, Anand Ranganathan, my question to you is, Arvind Kejriwal said 3-4 कमरों के घर में मैं रहूंगा, मेरे volunteer कहते हैं ये वो मैं नहीं रहूंगा, and then this house, I've seen, it says 21,000 square feet. 21,000 square feet का मतलब आप जानते हैं, it is I can't even imagine what, you can open probably a full channel out of that accommodation. Huda Zariwala, don't interrupt everybody. You're spoiling the debate. Anand Ranganathan, the question is to you. Respond.
Navika, very quickly, 3 points. Number one, I'm astonished and surprised by Huda ji's as well as Dr. Sumant Raman's cushioning of this quote-unquote crime by saying that this is a bungalow that is meant for Chief Minister and just Kejriwal. Does that mean कल मैं curtains को हीरे जवाहरात से जड़ा दूं और खुद 5 साल यूज करूं और कहूं कि भाई ये तो मैं और चीफ मिनिस्टर्स के लिए? That doesn't mean you can be extravagant and spend taxpayers' money. Tomorrow I will say that the marble flooring of Dior is not good enough for me. I want gold panel flooring. But remember, it won't be for me forever. Other chief ministers will use it as well. What kind of excuse is this? Especially from a guy who uses a Reynolds pen for 5 rupees and wears the same shirt without washing it for a fortnight. और चप्पल पहन के president से मिलने जाते हैं. Number 2, it is a fact, and I am never denying it. Even yesterday, Navika, I denied that all parties are corrupt. It stems from the fact that even the electoral bonds are given anonymous. And by the way, for Dr. Sumant Raman, or who was it who was talking about the, Dr. Sanjay Jha, only one panelist comes up with the most, believable, almost alien-like reasonings. For him to say that BJP also has constructed its office, Areva, is that taxpayer money? No, that is BJP's money. It can make any office that it wants. I can make any house that I want out of my own money. So that comparison analogy is absolutely bunkum. And finally, I have to say this here. Please, Navika, concentrate on the operative words. That all this happened during the time of COVID, when people died. Please don't forget that, Navika.
Absolutely. Absolutely not. And Mr. Arvind Kejriwal at that time didn't have enough money to buy tankers to carry the oxygen. Dr. Sumant Raman, that's one question. And the second question, Many people are now saying there is even a rumor of a swimming pool there, indoor swimming pool. Do you think that if there is a disclosure of the swimming pool, then you will begin to ask questions? Do you know anything about a swimming pool? Because you know about everything else, about the documents, about the government rules?
No. If there is a swimming pool or there isn't a swimming pool. There cannot be a rumor that there is a swimming pool because this is a place in Delhi.
Andar to koi ja nahi na sakta.
Obscure town.
How do we know?
Where you need satellite photography to find out. No. Why not somebody else go in and find out? Ask the construction people there whether there is a swimming pool there. Do an interview at the site with the construction workers and get the information out. I'm sure you have 100 ways of gathering this information. So anyway, if there is a swimming pool, again, it is completely unacceptable. The point I'm making is, I think it's being missed by everyone here. The point is not that 45 crores is justified, but if a bungalow is being constructed from scratch to be used as a chief minister's bungalow, there is a certain inherent cost which is attached to it. Now, we could quibble about it and say 21,000 square feet, including a camp office. Why can't it be 10,000 square feet with about 3,000 square feet for the camp office? We could quibble. But perhaps that would have cost about 15 to 20 crore. Look, let's be very clear. The point really is that there is wasteful expenditure by every government.
Okay.
Should be held to
so every government has done wasteful expenditure, and therefore Arvind Kejriwal, who set out to put out a new kind of politics, is just like anybody else. Well, I'm ready to accept that. Then where is that moral high ground? Where is going to be that sanctimonious lectures that we've been hearing from 2012? That is the question people are asking, and hold your thoughts, because joining me